Hi guys. Hi. I'm back. So, if you haven't been on this channel before, my name's Louis. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan since I was a small child. And this channel now, the whole point of it is that we are searching for the truth and we are here to defend Elvis. I've got my little 2-year-old, 4-year-old behind me, Tino. Tino's promised me he's going to be quiet. We know that he's not going to be, but he has promised me. Hi, Colleen. I'm sure, hopefully more will join us as we go along. I got my coffee. And if you see, hi, Stacey. Thanks for joining in. So I've just come back. We've been out for quite a few hours. We've done a couple of things, but we went to the beach. I'll just very quickly show you. The beach season, it's beautiful. It's a little bit slightly chilly, and Tino has found a friend. You all right, mate? You found a friend? Yeah. Go and ask his name. Make friends, man. He loves making friends. Don't you? Yeah. I know, I've seen it. So then we've got another video of my daughter. My daughter has gone far away. I have to turn the volume down. She's in a dancing competition. It's like street dancing. She's gone with her mum. Yeah, Tina's lovely. Tina, they said hello to you. Right, so I'm going to show you just quickly part of my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, Yasmin, is at a dancing competition, and she is right in the middle at the front. I can't show you the music. It's a bit blurry, but she's at the front in the middle. Remember, they're 7. Her name is Yasmin. It's a shame I can't do it clearer than this. She's very confident. She loves dancing. That's her swinging her hair around. I wish I could play the music because look at her. She makes me laugh. And she did this about half an hour ago. My wife sent it me. It's brilliant. And they're going to get they do the competition, then they'll get the results. I don't know how blurry it is to you, but with the music, it is great. So I've had quite a few messages come in whilst I was out. So anyone watching now, please subscribe. Please press the notification bell because you'll be notified when the second I go live. We can all join in, jump together, and then we can all enjoy each other's company while we do what we do, which is we defend Elvis. We search for the truth. So one of the subscribers messaged me saying, I will find that message, but he said he said Elvis will be so pleased that the fans are coming together, are uniting to defend him. I love that. The fans uniting to defend Elvis, and that Elvis would love it. I really like that. It's such a good couple of words that I literally could call my channel that. I really united to defend, guys. Be proud. Yeah, she's a very good dancer. It comes naturally, and she'll have a sing and everything. She's full of life. Yasmin is. Hi, Jill. Hi, Blue Bunny. I know, Teresa. I know how much you worship Elvis. I love your comments. Hi, Teresa. So, anyway, So I wanted to call this live stream Elvis Presley fans unite to defend him. I love it. I love it. I'm seriously considering somehow including that in our motto. I think we need a logo and a motto. At the moment, I've got my mind on Elvis Presley fans search for the truth, which I really like, but I like this united to defend Elvis. I like it. So somehow, when I do a new logo, somehow I want to get this Elvis fans search for the truth, but I also want to get this fans united to defend Elvis. So if you got any ideas, guys, because I'm going to try and design a new logo with a name and a motto. And I think the motto will be something like fans united. No, united to defend. And I do want search for the truth in the name. Obviously, Elvis Presley. So if any of you guys got any ideas, I'm up for any ideas. If any of you are artistic and come up with any logo that we can use together, please send it me, because I'm going to start trying to come up with. I want us to be like, how can I say it? It's hard to almost like a movement. I want that we have got a movement, and what the movement is to defend Elvis. So anyway, I'm going to go a few different things. I still wanted to look into Marty Lacquer, because I'd stored some information and the Memphis Mafia. The other thing is, I did, obviously, I've been reading these two books, guys. Now, I've worked out with YouTube rules, I can't read the books line to line, so it has to be done on a review basis. But I think what I am allowed to do, so I think we're on chapter 10, yeah? So I think what I am allowed to do is, right, Tina, don't forget we're being quiet. Right, I think what I am, cheers, dude. I think what I am allowed to do is read a bit. United, we stand up for Elvis. And we do, Jill, we do. I think, like, for example, there's a section, right, so here's the book. We're on chapter 10. It's funny, the chapter 10 doesn't have a name. Does that, I wonder, oh no, she doesn't name the chapters in this book. Unless it's at the beginning. Let's have a look, let me just double check. Whereas Child Bride, she does name, she doesn't name the chapters. I wonder why that is. So Tino, no, right, give me this phone. No. So I'm not going to be spending every 5 minutes warning you in front of all these people. That's not fair. We've been out for like 5 hours. You've been running on the beach like a mad person. You should be tired. Right. So what I was thinking, when we do the book, because I can't read it line for line, so I'll just get told off. I thought I'm going to read the chapter, not now, and then I'll pick out the highlights, and then I thought we could review it together. So, for example, Elvis in this says, "It's our time. Our time is up. It's time for me. It's time for Priscilla to go back to Germany." Then she breaks down crying. She doesn't want to leave him. He's trying to calm her down. And then Elvis is saying he needs to get back to Graceland because he's got business to take care of. And then he says to her, she has to go back to school. And then he says to her, maybe your parents will let you spend Christmas at Graceland, which I think they did, because I think it's documented that she did go to Graceland at Christmas. And then she says, Christmas is 6 months away. And then she said that night they were very intimate. Elvis was really sweet to her. And she does say that they went a little bit further than normal, but she doesn't say what they did. In fact, while I'm doing this, I will carry on going through it. Unfortunately, this is the only way we're going to go through this book without me reading it to you. I know that, Teresa. I know that. So let's just keep going. So Elvis didn't walk her to the airport. He just gave her a kiss goodbye, and then she went off in the limousine. So she's saying she was so shocked that she was leaving him. So she was like a robot walking to the airport, and tears were pouring down her face. Her whole world had come apart and felt like it was coming to an end. And then she's basically saying that she was in a complete daze. She almost didn't even see the aeroplane. She was so sort of out of it. But then it goes on. I can quickly see this, that the parents see her when she arrives home, and they're completely shocked at the way she looks. Obviously, her makeup's everywhere. Her hair's a mess. So the mother grabs the mirror, puts it in her face, says, "Look at you. Look how you look." And in the mirror, she could see exactly why they were so upset, because of how bad she looked. And so the fresh-faced 16-year-old that left them, she actually wasn't 16, guys. We know this. We've already worked out, you and me have already worked out she was not 16 when she visited him. She was 17. So I personally feel, my opinion is that she purposely makes herself out to be younger in the book to get a reaction from the readers, because I do think, in my opinion, that she does want us to feel that she is extremely young and has, I think, slightly been taken advantage of. I do think that, but that is only an opinion. I don't know. It's not a fact. And then, so the parents are then saying that they're shocked and disappointed. So they they didn't speak to each other all the way home. And then she says that Christmas at the Bulow family, this is 1962 Christmas, was quite a special time. And Elvis, right, let's have a look. All right, so she's talking about now that she's going back to Graceland's for Christmas, and that LCA had sent him some demo records, and she's crying. He calls her little girl, doesn't he? I think for me to do this properly, I think I need to read it properly and then come back to you guys with it. Do you know what? I actually quite enjoy reading this book. Quite enjoy it. So I will show you some of the pictures in the book, just because we're here. I've got some other things to chat to you about, but I'll just quickly go through these pictures in case some of you haven't got this book and you're just interested to know what's in it. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to show you the pictures, guys. You know, these are all pictures we've all seen before, yeah? He just looks great, doesn't he? There's one of, is that Minnie May? Minnie May with Priscilla? Let's go a bit closer. And she lived a very long life, didn't she, Minnie May? Oh, there was the car there. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this must be, is this the car that Elvis gave? Actually, probably not. I said, is it the car that Elvis gave Gladys? But I don't think so, because that looks to me, that's the German house, isn't it? And if you go on YouTube, you can see this. People go there and make videos outside that house, and it still looks now the way it looked all the way back then. All right, there's that must be Portland and Bulow. So that's the parents, yeah? Looking a lot younger. These are obviously very, very classic pictures that we've all seen before, guys. Her waving at the airport. And you've got a very famous picture of them, Elvis and Priscilla. Priscilla looks sad because Elvis is going. Oh, look, there's a great picture of her with the beehive hairdo. Yeah. It's quite an odd hairdo. She looks very pretty, though. And Elvis in his bus. Now, I've read all about this bus. I don't know if it's the same one. I don't know if it's the same bus, but I've heard that when Elvis started making the movies and maybe even in 56, 57, 58, 59, before he joined the army, that Elvis wouldn't fly. He didn't like flying. He had a problem with flying, which he did overcome. But I've heard that he would go and make the movies, and then they would get this bus, and Elvis would drive, and they would drive back to Memphis. And it was, quite a road trip. We've seen the video footage of these road trips. Sounds great. Imagine being on that bus, guys. I would have loved it. So here we go. Anne Margaret, come on. Everyone loves Anne Margaret. Let's just see where we are. She is a beauty, man. I've been watching videos of her on YouTube. To tell you what, whew, she's a proper beauty. Proper beauty. We all know these pictures, don't we, guys? We've all seen them a million times. It's funny because when I look at these pictures, they really look happy. Even the video footage, when you watch the video footage, they look glowing with happiness. Who'd have thought? Seriously, let me show you this one again. Guys, who'd have thought, that a year after this was taken, seriously, guys, who'd have thought a year after that picture was taken that she would have had a baby and had an affair with Steve Peck? Who'd have thought that? It's shocking. And they look so great. And don't forget, for Elvis, once he made that decision to dive in head first and get married, for whatever reason, whether it was because he was pressured or he just felt he had to, or if he actually really did want to, who'd have thought a year after that, look how happy he looks. Who'd have thought a year after that he would have had beautiful Lisa Marie and she would have run off with the guy who owned the dance studio, Steve Peck. Shocking. Shocking. And remember, guys, if you were on earlier, we found it. Page 262. Thanks to, who was it that found it? Was it Nadia? I'm sure it was Nadia. Hi, Nadia. Hi, Felina. Hi, Colleen. I'm going to read all your comments in a sec. Who'd have thought? Nadia. And a few of you did actually mention it as well. Because I had never seen proof that it actually did happen, that Priscilla, a year after the marriage, and a few months after the baby was born, Lisa Marie, lovely Lisa Marie, I've never actually seen proof that it did happen. I've always thought, am I saying something that might not be true? Am I being unfair? Even my twin brother said to me when he was watching my videos, and I said in my videos that she had had an affair 3 months after the baby was born, 1 year after the wedding. He was like, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. You could get in trouble because it might not be true. And I was like, he might be right. He might be right. So now, because of you guys, the wording is, so what was it? I need to find it now. Right, here we are. It literally is only 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 6 words. 6 words and a couple of small words. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. Guys, Do you know how important that is? How important? Because and I'll tell you why that's so important to me. I'm so glad that we've got this, because I now feel that when I'm talking about Priscilla, I'm not being nasty. Because to me, being nasty is talking about someone that is not true and saying lies about them. That's being nasty. Now, defending Elvis is easy to do if you've got proof and you know what you're saying is true, and you also know what you're saying was wrong. Yeah. So what she did was wrong. So I'm going to say it one more time. I had a brief affair and decided to end it, guys. Without sounding rude, she basically says, I'll cut it down to my version. And I'm not trying to create, guys, anyone watching now that is a Priscilla fan, I'm not trying to create hate for Priscilla. I have no hate to Priscilla. No hate at all. And if you're a Priscilla fan, you're very welcome on this channel. But do you know, guys, if you are Priscilla fans and you're watching this now, do you know that in 1968, 1 year after the wedding, a few months after Lisa Marie was born, that Priscilla had an affair? Do you know that? And do you know how much that means? Do you know how serious that is? It basically says, I married Elvis with this public wedding that went around the world. Yeah. On every newsreel in every country around the world. It was a very, very, it was all the magazines, all the tabloids, everyone was talking about it. I married him. I was so glad I'd finally got Elvis. Finally, me and Elvis were together. I got my wedding ring on my finger. The night of the wedding, we consummated the marriage. So 9 months later, Elvis stuck to his promise. He always said, on the night of the wedding, of the marriage, I will go all the way with you, because that is the decent thing to do, especially in 1967. Yeah, because things were much more old-fashioned then when it comes to losing your virginity. Don't forget, Elvis thought she was a virgin. She'd always said she was a virgin and sweet and innocent. This book says different, but let's believe Priscilla's version. Yeah. So finally, she gets all her dreams come true. You imagine how all the women in the world felt that finally Elvis was not available. So Elvis knew that him being a married person could have a knock-on effect on his career, his image, because the teenage fans wanted Elvis single, yeah, didn't they? So she marries him. We know about that they took the aeroplane to the Aladdin. They used Frank Sinatra's aeroplane. And they only invited a few people. I know they did have a big reception after. I think there was a few things that happened. And I think even when Lisa Marie was born, they did a big thing. You know that giant tower? I'm not sure where the giant tower is, but they had like we call it wetting the baby's head. Yeah. So all of these lovely experiences, and they had a honeymoon. Yeah. So, yeah. And all these beautiful experiences, and she finally got her man. She got her dreams come true. And a year later, she's having sex with another man just after her baby was born. How does that fit into any of your heads? Do any of you really absorb that and understand just how wrong that was? Just how wrong? Because it's obvious that if Elvis had found out about her having sex just after the baby was born, the family were over. It was game over. End of wedding, broken family, mother and father split up. Poor Lisa Marie is in a broken family. And Priscilla made the decision to have sex with that man, knowing her child was a baby, knowing that she had been unfaithful and broken her marriage vows to her husband. I know I'm repeating myself, aren't I? I think it's the most serious, severe thing that any couple could do in any wedding, regardless of how famous they are. I don't think it gets any more serious than having sex with someone when your baby has just been born. Come on. So to Priscilla fans who think people like me are Priscilla bashers or Priscilla haters, no. I'll tell you what we are. We are united to defend Elvis. We are searching for the truth. And I don't think that if you look back at all the interviews that have been given since the early 80s about Elvis, that she has ever clearly admitted this one thing. I had an affair a year after being married, 2 or 3 months after the baby was born. She has never, ever admitted that. But she is happy, and I'm not saying this to be hateful, I'm just chatting. She is happy to sit in an interview and say, oh, yeah, you know, he was a bit controlling. He did have a temper, and I was so young. And I just wanted to start my own life because I felt claustrophobic at Graceland. And but he was a lovely guy. He was a great singer. He was so beautiful and talented. We had such a brilliant time. But, you know, he was a bit of a groomer and he was controlling and he was really unfaithful to me. Hang on. When Elvis was being unfaithful, Priscilla fans, I know Elvis was being unfaithful in the earlier years. So 60, really from when he met her, after, as far as I'm concerned, that in 59, 60, 61, 62, he wasn't even with Priscilla. Yeah. So that any girl that he was seeing, whether it be Anita Wood or not, any girl that Elvis was seeing in those years, he was not being unfaithful. Elvis was not being unfaithful in 59, 60, 61, 62. Now, I will accept that when 63 rolls in, and when Priscilla moves into Graceland, by the way, she was nearly 18, not 14, that she felt, because she was living with him, maybe not in Graceland, in one of the other houses. I always get confused which house they're in. I also think, don't worry, I'm going to go through these messages in a sec, guys. Yeah. Yes, I've got your dinner. We're having it at tea time, not at 5 o'clock. Right, look, right, if you're not going to be quiet, I'm taking it. Right, you can have that, it's fine. Shut the fridge, please. Right, go and sit with your brother so I can do this live stream. Your brother, go and sit with Gio. Right, as I was saying. All right, okay, if you're quiet, it's okay. Well, you can go in the lounge. We've been together for 5 hours, so I can have some time with the guys. Anyway, I'm getting to the point, then I'm going to try and go through these comments. So Priscilla will sit in these interviews and give a dark impression of Elvis, but she will also praise him, because I'm telling you now, you can watch all the interviews back, going all the way back to the 80s, and she says hundreds of good things about Elvis. So I'm being fair, but she will also let the interviewer lead the way in the interview and go, oh, by the way, did this happen? Did that happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? And she'll be like, yes. Oh, well, you know, he was famous and he was a superstar. So what do you expect? Never defending him, really. She sort of says, well, you know, the women adored him. She doesn't say the circumstances. She doesn't go, oh, and by the way, I had affairs. Oh, and by the way, a year after the wedding, I was sleeping with a dance instructor. Oh, and by the way, I had a small baby when I did it. None of that. It's always the victim, poor me. What did I go through? My life was so tough living in a mansion, living in Elvis's other beautiful houses. Yeah, living in LA and California. Oh, you know, and he bought me a ranch and we had 18 horses and he bought me the most beautiful cars you could ever have, and we holidayed regularly, and I lived a life of luxury. Oh, and by the way, my family and friends were allowed to come as well. None of that. So for me today, what the thing that we found out together, and we actually found out in real time, is I can't even, what's the right word? I need the right word to come to me, but it is, for the channel, for our channel, our Elvis channel that we do together is everything. Like Larry Geller said to me in the reply I got from him on Facebook, this means everything to me. This means everything to me. This one, I had a brief affair and decided to end it. That one sentence, it justifies anything that I'm saying about Priscilla, about her wrongdoing on how she treated Elvis. That's it, guys. I know I've made it very long-winded. Right, I want to go through your comments, and I've got some messages. I do like to read out all your comments, guys, so I'm a bit going to play catch-up. So we had, hi Blue Bunny, Jill. Hi Colleen. Hi Teresa. Let's keep going. Right, so what do you need? Important bits. Quote, read line, unquote. Legally, you are allowed to quote lines, a few, and stop inserting something like read it yourself, see page 5. Okay. Felina, thank you. This is very helpful for me, actually, Felina, because I do want to still read these books to you guys, but I want to do it in a way that I won't be, copyrighted. Yeah, because I don't want this channel being shut down for any reasons. I will do whatever it takes. Okay, mate, to keep us above board. Yeah. So I'll just read what you just said to me. If I I'm going to take a picture of your comment so I don't lose it. Because this really helps me. Yeah. Let me just take a picture. Right, I just took a picture of your comment. So basically, what you're saying is, I'm allowed to read a line, and you are allowed to quote lines, stop, then say something, and then read it yourself. See page. Right. Okay. Thank you. So anyway, thanks, Naja. Thanks, Felina. So I'm reading more. Beehive was the start of the time, and Diana Ross had one. It's a wig piece that was popular thing for the ladies in the 60s. Now, I've actually seen more than one interview of Priscilla saying that she loved the Beehive. She loved the heavy makeup. She loved how she dressed. So in any way, if she gives the impression in any interview after the 80s that Elvis was grooming her and controlling how she looked, dressed, acted, walked, it's rubbish. It's complete rubbish. She, from her own mouth, has said she loved it, and it made her feel sophisticated. It made her feel older. So, again, I'm not causing hate here. Just stating the facts so I can defend Elvis with you guys. Things that she has said and wrote about, whether it is true or not, were terrible. Lisa Marie should have been taken into consideration. No child needs to know every detail about her parent. So now, Colleen, I ask you this, Colleen, and I ask all of you. Do any of you think that Lisa Marie, when she got slightly older, so say when she was a teenager, knew about Steve Peck, knew about that she, months after the wedding, the birth of Lisa, and a year after the wedding, do any of you guys think that Lisa Marie even knew? I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think that that she found out until she was allowed to read that book. So when did the book come out? Was it 83, guys? I don't have a year. I'll Google it. When did Elvis and me? Let's try and analyze it together, guys. So when did Elvis and me come out? I'm pretty sure it was 83. Release. And in fact, I'm gonna. The movie version was 88. We don't want the movie version. We want the book. 85. It says here. I just want to make sure it's the book. So 85. Yeah, so 1985, there's more of an original cover here. Now let's work out the age. So if that came out in 85, I think, wasn't Lisa Marie born in 68? Let's do this together. Lisa Marie's date of birth. I should know this, guys. So Lisa Marie was born on the February the 1st, 1968. So you work it out. If the book came out in 85, Lisa Marie was 17. Okay? So what I'm saying to you, there's a chance here that Lisa Marie didn't know about Priscilla being unfaithful to Steve Peck until she was 16 or 17 when the book was being written. Yeah? So it's an interesting one. Interesting one, guys. Let's keep looking. So we've got hi Seol, hi Geo. We saw Pris, did you sweetheart fly high? Yeah. I actually think Lisa Marie now that she's passed, is even more loved, even more missed. Yeah, it's become almost the same as how we miss Elvis. We miss Lisa Marie. I really believe that. She's a legend in her own right now, Lisa Marie. When I look at the wedding pictures and videos, I see acting. He does not look content and happy, and he has started. He has a startled look on his face, and smiles look forced. That's Tracy. See, I don't see that, Tracy. When I watch the videos, maybe I'm not as perceptive as you, but I just see that they're having the time of their lives, and they're really excited. Who knows? We weren't there. So Seol, so Geo, Seol, you are Geo, aren't you? Thinks the same. And then Felina. Felina, you're right. She admits it, but the book will go on to give the impression that she couldn't help it because of the circumstances, and basically it's Elvis's fault. I think you're right. So hi, right, we've got, okay, mate, just put the TV on, turn the volume down if you want, or plug it in. So we've got a new name. Okay, mate. So we've got a new name, M. Leo Lomido. Hello, Leo Lomido. Let me know where you're from, mate. I can see there's a picture of Elvis as a small child. So, right, Tina, we do have to turn the volume down there, yeah? No. Goodbye. You always listen to what I say, don't you? No. You're such an obedient child. So, hello to you. Let me know who you are. Welcome to our family. So, Nadia, someone in your comments also mentioned that Elvis suspected the affair and confronted her. It's in a book also Elvis had her watched by one of the guys coming out late of the dance studios. I have seen the comment. No, not the comment. I have read about the Elvis. One of the Memphis Mafia saw something, but I haven't seen the comment yet, Nadia. So I'm going to have a look for that. So let's have a look. Yeah, ma'am. So we've got Nadia. It's all in her book. You just have to sift through to discover. Yes, I will. I'm definitely going to go through this. Right, turn it right down, please. Do you want me to put it on YouTube for you? Bring it here. I'll put it on YouTube for you. But you'll pass it in. I'll do it for you. You eating another banana? The amount of bananas you sure? No. You feel yourself with bananas, you're turning into a monkey. Right, yeah, you can do it now. Banana! Right, you do it now, but you ain't going loud, buddy. No loud. Thank you. The boss. The mum is away. I'm the boss. Yeah, you are the boss. Mum's away, so you're the boss. Let's have a look. Keep going. I'm getting through these comments, guys. Priscilla will say, right, this is Stacey. Hi, Stacey. Oh, yeah, just so you know, guys, with the people, the people that have joined my channel, the members of my channel, I have to push it. Thank you so much for being members of my channel. You just hit the join button. It's 99 cents a month. And I want to say their names. So we have Eileen Hellaby. We have Shirley Jewelry. We have Stacey Hastert, we have James McCarthy, we have Judith Sconer, and Philomena Barbaro are the members of the channel. Thank you so much for being members. Thank you. But please subscribe, guys, please, and hit the notification button. You've even got to buy me a coffee. You can click on a button and buy me a coffee. So if you want to buy me a coffee, I love my coffee. Anyway, back to the comments. Yeah, just get the whole thing, Tina. Right, Priscilla will say, right, so they're quiet. I'm trying to read Stacey. You can eat that like that. It's fine. You can have that. So, so Stacey's comment will say how wonderful Elvis was, and then comes the but Elvis did. She always makes excuses for her behavior. This is what I've noticed. I think Priscilla has been very clever. Yeah. I think what she does, she sits in the interview. She always looks stunning, you know, in the 80s and 90s and noughties, right? So she's got the interviewer because she's so beautiful. Like most of the interviewers that are male are in love with her. So now turn that down, please. So what happens is, she basically, she waits for them to ask the questions. So she'll just sit there like, you know, pretty, you're lucky I'm here type way. And then she will wait for the interviewer to play it into her hands. And he'll say the nice things first. You know, he's a legend. The whole world love him. We all miss him. The most successful person that ever lived and all that, and how talented and beautiful he was. But then as the interview gets further, deeper into the interview, they start asking the questions. Oh, do you feel that he controlled you? Did he have a bad temper? Do you think he was a groomer? Was he unfaithful? Oh, he had so many affairs. Didn't he used to like scare you with his shooting? Didn't he used to shoot the TV? Yeah. And bit by bit, the interviewer plays into her hands, asks all the negative questions. The viewers at home, sat in their lounges, watching these interviews, are picking up on all the negative stuff, forgetting the good stuff. And Priscilla is like that. And at the end of the interview, Priscilla has hardly said anything, but the interview has done enough talking to make non-Elvis fans think that Elvis was the bad guy and that Priscilla was the victim. And that is the problem with this book. That is the problem. So just 1 second. I'm on a live stream. Who is it?
It's Rick.
Right, I'm on a live stream. Is everything all right? I'm going to be at least half an hour. What's the matter? All right. Okay, mate. Bye. So, you get what I'm saying, guys? It's very smart, very clever. Do the interview. Don't say too much. And then at the end of it, it doesn't matter because the interviewer has played into her hands and said everything that she wanted to be said or exposed. And then suddenly the public are like, oh, Elvis is the bad guy. Priscilla, right, let me just play a bit of this, guys. Right. I'll give you... Right, let me just turn it up.
But now she started a whole new career of her own, 11 now. And when Elvis died, Priscilla kept out of the public eye. She's made a point of it, but now she started a whole new career of her own, and she's going to be representing Wella Hair Care Products. It's a new advertising campaign, and she's here to talk with us about all that this morning. Good morning. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you. You told all my secrets.
They weren't secrets. What's left? Why start a public career now? You've kept very quiet.
You guys, before I go on that, now you look, right? I know it's a bit blurry, but this is verifying what I'm trying to say to you guys. She looks stunning. She's absolutely beautiful there. This is early 80s, and she's about to bring out the book. I think this is probably, it could be late 70s, early 80s. I don't know the exact. On here it says 1979. And you look at the interviewer. Yeah, remember, he's a man. Us men are pretty basic. You put a beautiful woman in front of an interviewer. I don't care if he's married or not. If the girl is beautiful, he is going to be smitten. Doesn't mean he's going to be unfaithful. It just means she's got him in the palm of her hand. Now watch her face. Look.
Been out of the limelight for so long.
I knew you'd ask that. First question.
Right, let's just go back a bit.
It's a new advertising campaign, and she's here to talk to us
Play it
about
again,
all
yeah?
this morning. Good morning. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you. You told all my secrets.
All your they weren't
What's
secrets.
left?
What's left? Why start a public career now? You've kept very quiet, and, out of the way and out of the limelight for so long.
I knew you'd ask that. First question.
All right.
It wasn't easy. It took about a year to make the decision.
And what were the things you had to consider as you were making the decision?
Losing my privacy was the biggest. I'm totally afraid of losing that, because I like to maintain my privacy, and I live in this world that I'm really very happy with. I don't socialize a lot. I have very few friends who I enjoy being with. And I think I was afraid to lose that somewhat. But I rationalized, and
So you have to be quiet.
this is something I'd like to do. I believe in this product.
Right.
I have terrible problems with my hair, and
Really?
since I've used the product, I've got great hair again.
The living commercial is
Right, yeah.
exactly.
I was the worst. I mean, I had 2 perms in 1 year, lots of color, and Wella has really brought my hair back to life.
Let's go back to the privacy thing. Does it frighten you at all that now, obviously here you're on television, you do it by choice, and you've made this choice, but now there are going to be the cameramen, you've had them already this morning, the still photographers and the press, and they'll be wanting to talk to you and press you. Does that frighten you at all?
No, the reason is I don't feel...
Hang on.
First of all, the job isn't that demanding. It's not a 9-to-5 job. I work only so many days out of the year. I believe it's 1 commercial a year. And I don't see any... I would rather be in an ad looking nice than a lot of the papers they have me in already on the stands.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see any difference that way. The photographers are always there, no matter what. I try to avoid them as much as possible and avoid places where they hang out.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, in Los Angeles, a lot of the restaurants that they hang out at, we usually go to very small, very
Right.
unpublicized.
What about when you were married to Elvis, the excitement and the hubbub and the total public quality and whatever of that kind of life, and yet you stayed apart, you stayed private then. How did all of that affect you, do you think?
Gosh, I learned a lot from that, David. I mean, it was a real learning experience. I would never want to, be in that lifestyle again. I mean, it was demanding, and you realize how much the public does demand of you.
But you don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it in any way. I think it's a big part of my life. I could never regret it at all.
Tell me about
So,
Lisa. She's 11. How is she?
I'll just pause that. So now remember, she's basically saying that she is a very private person, that she doesn't really want to come out and go public, but she feels that she has to so she can speak up for Elvis, yeah? She also says that she doesn't regret it. Now, I think the Priscilla that was coming out to the world then was trying to act like she loved being private and that she didn't want to share her life with the world. But it doesn't fit with this interview. It doesn't fit because what she's about to do is release, this is a few years earlier, so she's getting into the Hella hair products, and she's starting to promote herself around the world, obviously, firstly with Hella hair products, but eventually she starts promoting other things as well. So it doesn't add up because you've got someone who's saying, oh, I love being private, I don't have many friends, which you'll go on to see here. But then she said, oh, and by the way, I'm going to be on TV all around the world promoting things so that everyone's going to see me. Now she's going to go on now to talk about Lisa Marie. Yeah, so I think while we're watching this, we may as well see it through a little bit.
But you don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it in any way. I think it's a big part of my life. I could never regret it at all.
Tell me about Lisa. She's 11. How does she respond to all this? Have you discussed this with her? She must be a big girl by now.
She is. She has mixed emotions, I think. Yeah, she likes the idea, but she's reassured that I'm not going to spend a lot of time away from home. I'm still there. Like I say, the job isn't that demanding because we have a lot of things we'd like to do. Travel. I want to start traveling with her now and letting her see the world a little bit.
Right. Have you protected her, do you think?
Oh, yes.
Overprotected, maybe, or not?
I always ask myself that question. I don't feel I've overprotected her. She's very aware of what's going on. I'm always talking to her. She listens. She's a wonderful child.
Is now that you're going to be a little more public, is there a danger of her sort of being overwhelmed by whatever attention, too much attention?
I don't think so. She's used to it. She handles it very well. In fact, if there's photographers around, she'll put her hand up saying, "No pictures, please." And she avoids photographers. She has no use for them. She probably got that from me.
Yeah.
See someone with a camera and she'll, definitely, my God, there's a camera with her, and we'll go dodging it. So,
a young age to be aware of all of that. Very
aware.
What do you want for her? How do you think about her and her future?
I think I'm always thinking about her. I want her to do what she wants to do. I don't want her to feel she has to follow in her father's footsteps. I don't want other people, trying to encourage her to take this or to take that. At one time, 2 or 3 years ago, I really was encouraging her to take piano lessons, or, because she does have a talent. She's very talented. And I know she inherited this from her father because he was gifted, and I believe she is too. And I was trying to force her into playing the piano, but she doesn't want to play. So
most of us, it's like, oh gosh, Mom, do I have to practice?
But I don't want her to feel she has to follow in her father's footsteps because it's a lot of pressure on her. She's going to have enough. And whatever she wants to do, I think it's totally up to her.
You must, I'm sure, have to deal with all of the rash of books and articles and so.
There's a long section there talking about Lisa Marie, and I don't know, you guys have got very strong views. Now, was it around this time that she went into Scientology? I got a feeling it was a few years after that. So, because if that was done in 1979, I got a feeling she went into Scientology around 12, 13. Do any of you know the age that she went into Scientology? And I know that for me, just my point of view, guys, I personally think that when she made the decision to put Lisa Marie into Scientology, and I understand that Lisa Marie did go through a very rebellious stage and dabbled with drugs and alcohol and had some quite wild friends, but I think when she took the decision that Scientology was going to be the thing that controls Lisa Marie, and she took her there, and a lot of you have messaged me many times really upset that Lisa Marie was basically chucked into Scientology. And I'm no expert on Scientology, but to me, it completely goes against the grain for me. I don't really like using the word cult, but it is definitely extreme, and they have very extreme rules. And I think you, the Elvis fans, the majority of you are very upset that Priscilla put Lisa Marie into Scientology. Now, you watch Lisa Marie being interviewed. I think the first sort of 10-ish years, she grew to like Scientology, and she actually praised it. But as you go on in the years, as she got older and wiser, she fell out with them badly. She really fell out with them because they did get involved in every aspect of her life, including, I think, just my opinion, with Elvis Presley Enterprises. I think they were involved with all that. And I think they were also getting involved with Priscilla and massive decisions that were being taken about Graceland as well, in my opinion. So it's a funny one. I think that this is just before Scientology. So let's watch the end of this interview, guys. Tina, just turn it down a bit, please. Tina, where's the remote? Right, I'm going to play this last section.
Fourth that are coming out, and there's a new charge being made this morning. It just came out in last night's news.
Oh gosh!
Right, and it's coming. Have you heard about it?
Telling me for the first time.
Really? Well, it's coming out in the Ladies' Home Journal in the November issue. It came out last night. Another sensational story in a book by Elvis's stepmother and stepbrothers, saying that Elvis was in the hospital 3 times in the army in Germany for drug addiction. Can you confirm or deny that?
I really can't. That's new to me. I haven't heard this.
Do you know anything about it?
The books that are written, I just, I avoid them. I don't even read them. I haven't read one book that's been written. I don't. This will probably always happen from now till who knows when.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with one story after another?
I don't even pay any attention to it. I live for today, and I have to go on because I would constantly be upset, I think, if I was always listening to what was going on.
Can you confirm or deny that, though? Do you know anything about it?
I haven't.
Because if it's coming out in a big article by the stepmother and stepbrothers, you get a chance here to say it's hogwash.
A bit more, guys.
People exaggerate, and now's the time people are probably trying to make a name somewhere. To be truthful, this is the first I heard about it today. I knew she was writing a book, and I don't know what's in it. I don't know the contents at all.
What do you want for you? What do you look forward to now?
To do what I want to do what makes me happy, just to experience and to have a good time with life. I stayed away for a long time, and I'd like to
hard? Is this hard? Is this hard right now?
No, this isn't. You make it very easy.
Well, thank you, but you're gonna have to answer some of these questions. You know you are.
But first, I'm very defensive. I start thinking, what's he going to ask next? And oh my God, what have I done? And I just every time I answer a question, it's like a certain part of me is leaving, and I'm holding back, saying, don't let that go, because so much of me is inside. Very few people I really talk to. And I still hold a lot in. There's some things I'll never tell you.
What an ending. I still hold a lot in. There's some things I'll never tell you. But Tina, give me the remote so I can turn it down, please. So, no, because I'm going to go and turn it off now. Then. If you're not going to turn it down, I'm going to turn it off. Come on, because I'm trying to do this. A bit more than that. Please turn it down more than that. It's such a pain in the bum. Pain in the bum. So... what do you get from all that, guys? That's a very early interview, but the reason I played it is because I want you to get a feel for that. She gets the interviewers in the palm of her hand and plays them. She plays them. So, very interesting. But, all these interviews are there on YouTube to watch. And if you watch them properly and really concentrate on them and try and read between the lines, try and understand the message that she's trying to get across, where she's building, how can I say it? She's building an image for herself as this sort of the mother of Lisa Marie that is a bit downtrodden. The press are on her case all the time. Everyone's talking about her, and she's a bit of a victim that has been unfairly treated. And I think that she has kept that going for 50 years, guys. I really do. But books like this are showing you that there was another side to Priscilla, a much more intelligent, conniving businesswoman. Now, I'm not trying to create hate here, guys. I'm just trying to say that it's not fair that Elvis he can't defend himself. So for the last 50 years, his image, his reputation has been tarnished by very subtle things that have slowly been said by Priscilla, and unfortunately by many of the public, because the public have fallen for this fake, false image of Elvis that is incorrect. So Elvis can't stand up for himself. So us as Elvis fans, we're like, why do people think so badly of Elvis? What has he done that was so bad? And I said this to you in the last live. Yeah, he was a bit unfaithful, more so in the earlier years. And yes, after the 68 comeback, when he caught his wife having sex with a dance instructor just after the baby was born, yes, he didn't want to sleep with her anymore. Now, the lie is that we're all getting told that he didn't want to sleep with her because she'd had a baby, and that he won't sleep with any woman that's had a baby, which is complete rubbish. But unfortunately for Elvis, that one lie, that he won't sleep with a woman that's had a baby, has gone around the world for the last 50 years. And so many people have fallen for it now. So when you speak to any Elvis person, or even Priscilla fans, no offense to the Priscilla fans, they truly believe that Elvis would not have sex with a woman that's had a baby, which is a complete lie. Elvis would not have sex with Priscilla when after she'd had a baby, because he caught her having sex with someone. It's that simple. The marriage was broken. A year after the marriage, it was broken because she had had sex with... Come on, guys, even if we don't use the word sex, let's do things properly so we don't get in trouble. In our opinion, Priscilla has admitted that she had an affair with Steve Peck. We don't know that she had sex. Let's do it right for YouTube. I don't know if Priscilla had sex with Steve Peck. We don't know. But she did have an affair with him. And because of it, Elvis tried to forgive her. They went on a holiday afterwards. And Elvis knew this was serious this time. So he tried to fix things. But he couldn't bring himself to have sex with Priscilla because she had had an affair with Steve Peck, which is proven because she's admitted it in this book. So we're not lying. And because of it, he didn't want to have sex with her, in our opinion. Yeah? So we need things to be fair for Elvis. We can't defend Elvis unless we have a proper timeline on the stuff that happened as it unfolded. And the thing that we do know, because she has admitted it, and I'm guessing that it will come out later in this book that she has said, we know, guys, us as Elvis fans, we're here to search for the truth and defend Elvis. We are united in our defense for Elvis, that she did have a year-long affair with Mike Stone in 71, so 2 years before they divorced. And eventually in 72, she plucked up the courage to tell Elvis that she wanted a divorce. When Elvis found out about the Mike Stone affair, he demanded a divorce, and Elvis then was having a divorce, no matter what. There was no way back. By 73, it's done and dusted. They've had the first divorce settlement. She's running down the road, skipping with Mike Stone, and metaphorically with big bags of money in each hand, because ultimately it's the truth that she knew that if her and Elvis divorced, she was going to get a lot of money, a lot. And we are talking millions. And she was fixed for life. Yeah. But then, and this is the bit that upsets me, and I don't hate Priscilla, but then she lives with Mike Stone. She has a very public romance, not affair, because she split up from Elvis. This is an actual romance, an actual relationship. I'm not sure how long it was, 3 to 4 years long. She was in all the papers, the tabloids. There was some small TV things where I've had in comments that people that grew up in 71 saw Mike Stone and Priscilla on little TV clips, like newsreels. Yeah. And they were in all the tabloids, all the magazines, all over the world talking about this affair. And Elvis had to put up with that and watch this very public romance. And really, you think about it, I know that he went on to meet Linda Thompson, and Linda Thompson is amazing. I really like Linda Thompson. And Elvis, and she was a stunning, beautiful girl. He really picked a decent, lovely girl. But you imagine how he feels. You got Priscilla, who was looking her best, parading herself in all the famous restaurants, yeah, and late night venues, with Mike Stone, the karate instructor, yeah, very famous karate instructor who had trained with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and James Coburn and people like that, yeah. And Elvis admired him and thought he was a real badass. His own words. Elvis said, that guy is a real badass. And Priscilla had even been to watch Mike Stone at karate exhibitions with Elvis. So she must have fancied him. She secretly fancied him, didn't she? Yeah, before they got together, and she went out of her way. And this is, I've seen quite a few interviews where she went out of her way and pursued Mike Stone. She wanted him. Now, this is just an opinion. This isn't a fact. I'm going to cover myself. This is our opinion. Yeah. It might not be fact, but from what we see, it's possible that she went out of her way to get Mike Stone. And even though he was married and had a kid on the way, or maybe even had a child, that Mike Stone is guilty as well, because he had an affair with Priscilla Presley, who had a small child, would have only been 2 or 3 then. So both of them together, and this is a fact, because we can prove that they were married because of the divorce and because of the marriage certificate, that at the time that she was having this affair at first with Mike Stone, eventually it became a divorce. They broke 2 families up. We ain't getting away from that. 2 families broke up. There was children involved. Lisa Marie. I'm not sure about Mike Stone's child. I need to look into that. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. Don't know if she had been born at this time or if his wife was pregnant. 2 families were broke up because Mike Stone and Priscilla Presley fancied each other and wanted, I don't want to sound too crude, but wanted to get naked in bed. Innit, guys? I know it sounds a bit, ugh, but that's the truth of it. These are married people with a child. And the knock-on effect, the knock-on consequences of them fancying each other were massive, massive, life-changing. And you think how that made Elvis feel. And who has defended Elvis? You think about it. Who has defended Elvis? Elvis, even going back then, even if you go back to 1973, when he leaves the courtroom, trying to be friendly, trying to be civil, holding Priscilla's hands. We've all seen the pictures of them together. Who has stood up for Elvis? Who has gone, you poor man, your woman ran off with another man in public and she took your child? When Steve Peck had the affair, the dance instructor, the guy who owned the dance studio, with Priscilla months after Lisa Marie was born, bearing in mind they were married, so it was a year after the marriage, who stood up for Elvis? Seriously, I challenge you to find one person that has stood up for Elvis, even though he went through this traumatic, horrific time a year after he got married, and she had the affair after the baby was born, and a couple of years after that, she's gone running down the road with Mike Stone, who was a very public figure. Who has stood up for Elvis? Who? And I'm telling you, you won't find anyone. You will not find anyone say, poor Elvis, he had to go through that in 1968. Poor Elvis, he had to go through that in 1971. No one. This is what you will hear, guys. You will hear, oh, but hang on, he was unfaithful. Hang on, he had a bad temper. Didn't he groom you? Oh, you were only 14 when he met you. And they will keep repeating that. You were only 14. Does any of them say, but he didn't have sex with you until you were nearly 22? And this is what drives us Elvis fans together, guys. This is what drives us mad, is that I think the way Elvis was treated after the wedding, so basically 68, yes, I know he was married in 67, was torture. It was daily torture. Daily torture. So when people mention to me about the fact that in 68, at the 68 comeback, that he got very friendly with that girl, I have to say her name, guys, because you know her name. Yeah, of course Elvis got friendly with other women after 68 because his wife had betrayed him whilst they had a child together. So Elvis was off getting on with his life. Yeah. You imagine what he went through, and I'm bringing it down to this one point. and it is the whole basis of this YouTube channel. Who is sticking up for Elvis? Who stuck up for him all the way back then? Over these decades, so we've got the 80s, the 90s, the noughties, 2010, 2020. Who's sticking up for Elvis? Seriously, show me a book. Show me a book that is sticking up for Elvis. Show me a book. There is no book sticking up for Elvis. You will find plenty of books calling Elvis names, calling him a paedophile, a drug addict, that he was a shagabout, that he had a temper, that he had a problem with guns. And I could probably go on. Yeah, and then the more nasty ones are where they're calling him fat and laughing at him for dying in his bathroom. You'll get it all day long. And even Prime have released some horrible documentary about Elvis, where these teenage fans that followed Elvis around, that hung out at his gates, have, for money, in my opinion, for money, ridiculed his name. Yeah. And anyway, I'm going to give you guys a chance to comment, because I'm on one again. I'm doing a rant again, guys. I'm really sorry. So I need to just calm myself down. So I'm going to start reading some of your comments. Right. You've got an advert coming up soon. So anyway, you get where I'm going, guys. And I will now say this. We are the people that are going to stick up for Elvis. Us. On this channel. And I hope other channels join in. That is our forte in life. We are going to stand up for Elvis. We are united in our defense for Elvis, and we are searching for the truth. And we won't do it and be hateful. I will not be hateful to Priscilla. Priscilla, I do not hate you. I just want you to say the truth. That's all I want. Say the truth. Say the stuff that you did that was wrong, so that the fans and the public and the world, all the people in the world, can understand that Elvis wasn't as bad as you said. Elvis wasn't as bad as you said. Okay. Right, so that's quite emotional for me. But I just need to calm myself down, because it really gets to me. But anyway, there's 20 of you watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. If you want to join, please click the join button. If you want to buy me a coffee, please buy me a coffee. Click the buy me a coffee button. Right, let's just start going through these messages. Do you know anyone can say anything about Elvis and get away with it? Meaning you can't sue for defamation of character because he's dead. That's the law. Wicked Felino, I didn't know that. Did not know that. So let's have it. Stacey says, Priscilla will say how wonderful Elvis was, and then comes the but. She always makes excuses for her behavior. So Nadia, guys, do you find it odd that Priscilla's eyes are open while kissing Elvis on the wedding video? Yeah. Because you do shut your eyes when you kiss someone, don't you? You do. You got a good point, Nadia. Wicked Felino. Wonder what will come from Priscilla if Priscilla passes away. I'll tell you what, guys. I wouldn't wish anyone to pass away, but she seems like a very healthy woman. I think she's got plenty of go in her. Teresa, I get your point. Colleen agrees with you. Yeah. Seoul. Yeah. So, Tracy, if he truly was the type of person Priscilla says, then one or more would have come out and similar stories. Not one. I keep saying it to you guys. Let's really break it down. Sometimes he was unfaithful, more really before the wedding. And then I don't even count unfaithfulness after 68 because their relationship was broken. So what else did he do? Sometimes he would lose his temper. Big deal. We all do. Come on. It's very hard to find bad things about Elvis. He was very ill, so he took prescribed medication. And yes, he abused it a bit. Big deal. So what? Doesn't make him a bad person, does it? That he took more painkillers, or that he had serious medication for his stomach, or for his glaucoma, or for his high blood pressure. Doesn't make him a bad person. The fact that he died in his bathroom doesn't make him a bad person. The fact that he had a few different girlfriends in the 70s doesn't make him a bad person. The only way they can call him a bad person is if they accuse him of being unfaithful. That's all they got on him. That's all they've got. But they both did it. They both did it. And I think the way, in my opinion, the way Priscilla did it was much worse. Because I've heard Elvis, leading up to the wedding in 66 and 67 and 68, was faithful. Faithful. He wasn't unfaithful until the relationship was broken, because he'd caught her in a relationship with another man after the baby was born. Come on, in 71, guys, Mike Stone's, she's been seeing him for a year. Come on. And I always say this to you guys, you break down the years. You break it down. I don't really think they were a proper couple until around the time he met Anne Margaret. Yeah. Now, yes, him being unfaithful with Anne Margaret was naughty, was definitely naughty. And I do think that Priscilla really went through a tough time in 63, 64, 65. I think those 3 years, I'm not going to excuse it. I do think Elvis was unfaithful and he shouldn't have been. But they weren't married. They didn't have a baby. So I accept it. Priscilla must have gone through a tough time for those 3 years. I accept it. Yeah. But okay, we put our hands up to that. Elvis was no angel. He was a human being. He had strong temptations that drew him into situations, these stunningly beautiful women literally throwing themselves at him. But also he was a very confident man. He knew exactly how to chat up a girl, a co-star. Yeah. They melted when they even just took one look at him. And Elvis was so special. You couldn't resist him. So I want to be fair. Right, so free for all, just like all the books on Marilyn and men claiming to be her husband. I haven't. Are you talking about Marilyn Monroe, Felina? I love Marilyn Monroe, but I don't really know that much about her. So Stacey, it seems that most people in Elvis's life used him, and isn't this true about very rich people? Very rich people, that they just, it's always about the money. And even if they're very good looking, you just hang around him because the women are hanging around and you get the leftovers. The Memphis Mafia knew if they were hanging around Elvis, you got the women swooning to get to Elvis, they would pick up on the leftovers. All of the Memphis Mafia have admitted they were unfaithful. All of them. Yeah. And they've all admitted that they were on taking the tablets, the uppers. Yeah. And the sleeping tablets. The Memphis Mafia were no angels. Definitely not. They literally had the time of their lives. Elvis was a human and way too often neither allowed or expected to be. So this is AN. This is a new name. AN. Hiya. Welcome to our little family. Please introduce yourself. Joe. Hi, Joe. Elvis gave Priscilla the okay to take LSD. I know the whole story of LSD. I've done videos on it, and I know they got stoned behind Gracelands, and Larry Geller was with them. But I ain't blaming Elvis for that. These are just a couple of young people. LSD was massive at the time that they did this, wasn't it? The early 70s or the late 60s. And yeah, they took some LSD and they didn't like it. They just did it once, didn't like it. Doesn't make Elvis a bad person. Elvis was just human, the way too often neither allowed or expected to be. Can you, it's, all right, I call you Annie. Hi, is it Annie? Can you tell me where you're from? Welcome back. You've been on before. Let's have a look. Tracy, correct. It doesn't make him a bad person, but his inner circle demonized him with their tell-alls. Yeah. I watched the Marty Lacker interview today, and he praises Elvis, but then he started saying some quite serious stuff that I thought was very hurtful and quite cruel on Elvis. And I just remember thinking to myself, Elvis would be gutted to hear you talking about him in this way. Gutted. I just thought he didn't deserve that. I was really disappointed with Marty Lacker. And unfortunately, most of the Memphis Mafia have done this, where they're saying good stuff and then they come out with the bad stuff. Yeah. And even Joe Esposito, what was he talking about? Joe Esposito, I watched one this morning. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, yeah. There's a story that Elvis had lost his temper with a famous girl. Let me just see if it's on here. Let's see if where Elvis had lost his temper and grabbed the girl's hair and pulled her along. Do any of you girls know this story? I think I took a picture of it because it annoyed me. Yeah, there it is. Her name was Christina Crawford. Christina Crawford. Yeah. Do any of you know this story? I bet Tracy does. So she's a famous person. I think her mother was famous as well. Yeah. And she had spoke up to Elvis and really angered him and upset him. Now, we don't know this happened. Yeah. But in theory, Elvis jumped up and was so angry that he grabbed her hair and pulled her out of the room. Now, what annoyed me about this was that Joe Esposito said it. Joe Esposito is clearly in the interview. He's being interviewed. It's his best friend Elvis, who did so much for him. Yeah. They were friends for years and years, and Elvis gave him an absolute fortune. And Joe Esposito is there loudly, boldly saying, oh, by the way, Elvis dragged a woman across the room by her hair. Come on. They ain't friends. Now, I really hope that didn't happen. It's a horrible thing. A man should never hurt a woman. I'm completely against a woman being hit. I've never hit a woman in my life or pulled a woman's hair in my life. But it's Joe Esposito. Come on. They're best mates. Elvis did everything for him. And he's he's being interviewed and saying that about Elvis. It infuriates me. That isn't a friend. That is not a friend. Now, a good friend would have told Elvis off for doing it. But he wouldn't sit in an interview room and say it to 50 million people. It bugs me. It's so wrong. Right, so David Lohman. I think, are you new, David? Welcome to our family. Have you been on before? Not buried, grassland, land. No respect, got grassland until Lisa took over. Trying to stop crippled man, top dog, ball, negative stuff. I'm not really, I don't understand that comment. Let's go to the next one. But welcome, David. I hope you're enjoying our live stream. So they betrayed him, Tracy, after all he had done and given them. Yes, 100%. The Memphis Mafia did betray Elvis, but I will also be fair. It's just my opinion. I can't prove it. I can't say it's fact. I'm allowed to have an opinion on YouTube. And I personally, in my opinion, think that the Memphis Mafia did a lot of good for Elvis and really protected him. I also feel that they double-crossed him big time. Big time. We know them. The tell-all book was only 3 of them. I understand that. But you've got all of them giving interviews. Even Jerry Schilling, who was like that with Elvis. Even Jerry Schilling, most of the time, he talks really highly of Elvis, says how great Elvis was, the best friend ever, one of the most amazing people that he'd ever known. But he will still bring up the negative stuff. He will still bring up the negative stuff. One time when Jerry Schilling brings up in an interview where Elvis was upset with him because he was getting too friendly with Priscilla. But he says it in a negative way, and I don't like it because, of course, even me, if a man gets too friendly with my wife, I'm not going to like it. It doesn't make me controlling. I just don't like it. And a woman, even the women out there, you girls out there that are watching now, yeah, hello to all of you, by the way. If someone gets too friendly with your husband, do you like it? Of course not. So Elvis was right to say something to Jerry Schilling. And the truth is, guys, in my opinion, there's a possibility. It's not a fact. I can't prove it, but it's a possibility that Jerry Schilling and Priscilla got too close, isn't it? It's possible. We're allowed to say that. I'm not saying it's a fact. I've had many of you guys message me and think there's a possibility that Jerry Schilling and Priscilla had an affair. It's the truth. Right, let's keep looking. So, Joe, LSD was all the rage of them. Only recently discovered E and P. Elvis and Priscilla did it to try it. But yeah, they only did it once, guys. There's loads of videos all about it. Let's have a look. Let me just see if I'm missing these messages. Yeah, I heard about Charles Manson living close to them. Christine was in the movie Wild in the Country. She was extremely rude to Elvis in front of his friends. And yeah, and he lost his temper. But do I believe that he literally grabbed her hair and pulled her out of the room by her hair? I think it's been exaggerated, guys. But thanks for that, Tracy. Tracy is the best at giving the facts. If there's anything I don't know, Tracy will find the answer. She's super clever. Tracy, you're not just naughty, you're clever. Joe, during the gigs, the Manson family and the murders. Joe and Elvis started arming himself during the gigs and the Manson family murders. I don't blame him. Thanks, Nadia. I don't blame him. Yeah, Stacey, you've seen the interview. It's not right, is it? These are friends. These are friends. What is going on? Right, Wicked Felina. Felina, my comment regarding Marilyn is in response to a chat comment legally writing lies about a person who is dead. What will happen when Priscilla dies? I referred to what happened to Marilyn. Okay, well, thanks, Felina. Thank you. Yes, so the daughter of Joan Crawford. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you. I'm trying to play catch up with these messages. I actually find Joan Crawford hilarious. Let's have a look. I agree. I'm not a big fan of Linda. She's overinflates her importance in his life. Tracy. Well, we're going to disagree there, Tracy, because I really like Linda Thompson and I've watched all her interviews and I think she was really good for Elvis, really good. But, you know, we're going to disagree there. The one I wasn't that keen on, and Tracy, we might agree or disagree. I wasn't mad about Ginger Oldham. I wasn't mad about her. And I've seen a lot of her interviews. She seems like a lovely lady, but come on, he was 42. He wasn't looking his best. He was very unwell. I think she was only 21, was she? She may have even been younger. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it, guys. And the fact that they supposedly were engaged and were going to get married Christmas, don't know, guys. Do I think Elvis really wanted to marry Ginger Oldham? In my opinion, probably not. Probably not. She chose not to live with him, didn't she? And also, she was very much wanted to go out partying. He didn't want to go with her. And if you look at Billy Smith's interviews, and actually someone else as well, I think it was Joe Esposito, they made it clear that she wanted to go out and party and have fun, but he just wanted to stay home. So, not one of the most genuine relationships. Now, was Ginger Oldham quite a genuine person? I think so. But even they had arguments over money, didn't they? Didn't Ginger Oldham's mother try and sue the estate for some money because Elvis had promised to pay her mortgage? Tracy will know. Do you know there is a film on YouTube? It's low quality with the Miami Vice guy Don Johnson, and I think the film's called Elvis and the Beauty Queen. It's actually quite a good film. I've watched it a couple of times. I know that Don Johnson doesn't look anything like Elvis, but it's a long film. I think it's 2.5 hours long. And if you go on YouTube, find that film, guys. It's a good film. I like it. I think the girl that plays Linda Thompson is really good, really good. So, guys, watch it. If you can find a better quality version of it than the one on YouTube, I think you'll enjoy it more. But I quite like it. Right, so are we catching up with these? Let's go down. Right. So Tracy says that Christina was very mouthy, and it says total Nepo baby. What does that mean? She apparently ripped the cigar out of Elvis's mouth because she didn't want Joe to light it for him. Right. Well, do you really, right, Colleen, do you really think that Elvis would blow his temper and grab someone by the hair and pull them out of the room for that reason? Nah. I know the story. I've done a video on it and I've read it a few times. The Elvis that I know, his character, his personality, you know, all from the interviews and what we all have learned together, he wouldn't have done that. If he did that, it must have been a much more serious reason. So this is the problem with these rumors and stories and hearsay, is they get exaggerated and twisted. We never get to hear the total story. We just hear bits. It's very unfair on Elvis. So Felina says, I heard the story throwing the girl out of Graceland after she sat on the couch watching TV. Elvis, because he did not make a pass at her, she threw a drink in his face. He threw her out. So there we are, Felina. The version she knows is the drink in the face. And then you've got Colleen, because he wouldn't light Joe Esposito's cigarette, because she wouldn't light the cigarette. It's not the truth, is it, guys? So Blue Bunny Jill is saying that Christina kept putting Elvis's cigar out and it upset Elvis. Another version. Right. So then we've got Welsh back. Hi, mate. That is Matt. How are you, Matt? What's the score? Matt, what is the score? Because my son's watching it upstairs. So then we've got... Let's have a look. It keeps jumping up on the messages. Right, let's just go up and try and find this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys, that I've fallen behind on your messages. Yeah, it's because I was waffling too much. I don't like it when I waffle too much. So Soul, in fairness, I'd be hard to be married to a man and live with his entire entourage in a house. But Pris knew that before she married him. Yes, she definitely did know that. And I had some comments off you today, and I'll try and read them. I might have to do it on a separate video. But the comments were basically saying that Priscilla knew damn well when she was about to marry him, she knew damn well that there's no way that Elvis could stay faithful. And this was all part of the plan. What do you reckon, guys? So Tracy, I just love to research and extract the truth. And you're smart. I know you did well at school, Tracy. You are smart. Admit it to me that you were top in your class. So united we stand for Elvis. Yes, Nicola, I agree. Nicola, let me know where you're from. Are you a new name? Nicolette Forkis. Are you a new person on our channel? There's 25 of you watching now. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. It really matters, so that when I go on my live streams, we all can come together, yeah, and start chatting. And if you want to be a member, click the join button. If you want to buy me a coffee, buy me a coffee. Let's have a look. Linda Thompson comes across as a genuine. I can say that about a young. I can't say that about genuine. I agree. I find Linda Thompson more genuine than Ginger Oldham, but we all see it differently, don't we? Elvis was high on prescription drugs. He could easily got pissed and grabbed by the hair. Just saying. Okay. So Jill, right. This is a whole new video live stream, Jill. Right. I just want to say, in defense to Elvis, to that comment you just said, and no offense, Jill, because I'm being friendly, but Elvis he did need the sleeping pills because he had a problem with insomnia, and Elvis liked the pills to wake him up, and Elvis would use the pills for more energy, especially when he was doing tours and filming, etc., which is pretty normal for celebrities. But Elvis had serious medical problems going in the late 60s and the early 70s, very serious. And the book, Destined to Die Young, clearly says these medical problems Elvis had. I'm going to do a whole live stream on that book. And I'm really going to look into and tell you guys just how unwell Elvis was. Yeah. And Elvis was on some seriously heavy medication to try and reduce the pain he was in, the discomfort he was in. So you say that, that he was high on prescription drugs. I think this. In 76, 77, very likely. But I think through the early 70s, no. I don't think Elvis took the drugs to get stoned. I really don't think it. When he became very, very unwell, I think, yes, he was abusing the medication and sometimes was stoned. That's my opinion. So let's have a look. He was only really into Elvis for 1 year. And after the attention started to wander, Sheila Ryan and Joyce Bova and Joe Brown. Yeah. Now, I don't know much about Joyce Bova or Joe Brown, but I do know a lot about Sheila Ryan. I've watched a lot of her interviews. She was very beautiful. I think, isn't she the girl that he was being unfaithful to with Linda Thompson? So it was because of Sheila, really, that Linda left him. Yeah. But Linda also said that she felt that Elvis was too unwell and couldn't see a future with him because the medication had just sort of taken over. And she knew he was being unfaithful, didn't she, Linda Thompson? Linda Thompson does say in the first year they were together every day for the first year. So I feel sorry for Sheila Ryan. If it's the one I'm thinking of, she got cancer, didn't she? And she died very young. So, and didn't she, what's that famous actor that she was seeing? The one that was in Rollerball, James Caan. So wasn't there a bit of that going on? Have I got the right person? Tracy, have I got the right person? Ginger was too young. She was. I agree. Too young. Stacey, you're right. Too young. I agree, but I've never seen her badmouth him. Have I missed something? She always speaks very highly. Linda Thompson always speaks. Colleen, Linda Thompson always speaks very highly of Elvis, but she will say that, you know, that he had an eating disorder, he had a medication problem, and that he couldn't be faithful. She will say those three things. Now, let's have a look. Now, Marty Lacker, we're going to do a whole tomorrow. Probably, I want to do a thing on Marty Lacker, and we'll get to the good and the bad. Yeah. Blue Bunny, Jill. So Tracy Joyce started before Linda. Just tell me more about that with the Tracy Joyce thing. I'm not aware. He definitely respected women. I've never heard of any woman saying that Elvis, except for that one incident, I've never heard of any woman, and I've watched loads of interviews, saying that Elvis was violent towards a woman. Never, not even once. Have any of you? So Nadia, Ginger doesn't badmouth him, although she did mention in the early interviews that she started having doubts about the official cause of death. I've never seen that. I have seen her being interviewed saying that people like to think that he's still around, he's still alive, and that it's not true because she saw him at the funeral. So I have heard her say that. She dispelled the rumors that he may still be alive. Come on. It was a massive publicity thing, wasn't it? Everyone was saying, they spotted Elvis out and about. It was quite, and when she was interviewed, which I think was in the 80s, she just put that to bed, didn't she? That's the only bit I saw, Nadia. Elvis told Billy Smith that if he married Ginger, he'd have to marry her whole family. I think he proposed to her because he didn't want her to leave him, maybe. Now, I've seen interviews with Billy talking about Ginger Alden, and he didn't like her. He didn't like her. He did not like Ginger Alden. He thought she was bad news. So, and do I think it was a genuine engagement? I know that you can see the videos, you can see the ring in the suede box, the green suede box, but I don't think, I personally don't think it was a genuine engagement. It's just my opinion, guys. I don't think Elvis was ever going to marry. I know she said she was going to get married at Christmas. When I watched the interview of her saying Elvis had promised her they were going to get married at Christmas, I don't like the look in her eyes. I don't think she's telling the truth. This is just my opinion. But don't get me wrong, guys. She seems lovely. Ginger Alden seems lovely. Yeah. I'm not going to badmouth her. I think she seems like a lovely lady. I've watched her recent interviews. She was recently in the UK on Loose Women. And she always speaks highly of Elvis. She says that Elvis, in his last year of life, was very upbeat and looking forward to the tour ahead. And only says good things about him. Says he was looking better, feeling better, and excited for the future, and that he even wanted a family. So I just think she was too young for him. Yeah, James Caan, that's right. I'm going to call you Annie. Yeah, right. It's jumped up the messages again. Let's just go back down. Let's have a look. Right, okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so Tracy is saying that Linda didn't badmouth Elvis. Generally, no, I don't think she did. I think Linda was really good. So then we've got Stacey. No, Colleen, I just don't think she was equipped to handle everything that went on in Elvis's life. To my knowledge, she had never badmouthed Elvis. If we're talking about Linda, I agree. Matt, what is the score? I want to know. Is England winning or not? The football. Here we go. 1-0 Slovenia. Oh no, my son is going to be gutted. My son is obsessed with football. Oh, it's 1-1. I'm going down the messages. Correction, 1-1. A draw. Still not good enough. Thanks, Matt. It's a cunning plan, Louis. Thanks, Nadia. Oh no, correction again. It's 1-0. Look, now we're talking about the medication, guys. Now you watch Elvis. Going right back to 1960. Yeah? Don't forget, as far as everyone's concerned, he was on these pills from 1960. And you go right up to 72. And I'm telling you now, guys, he does not look stoned. He's not all drowsy and slurring. He looks on his game. He looks brilliant. Right up to 72. I've noticed in 73, when they're doing the world by satellite tour, yeah, he starts to look different. Around, I think, end of 73, around 73, you can see that there's a change in him. He's a bit more slurry. He's slightly puffier. And I think if he was abusing the medication, it was 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. So those years. More so later. Yeah, because he also had this thing where the way he would diet, this is what I read in an interview. No, what I read about, sorry. That Elvis's way of dieting was he would get himself put to sleep, but not for like a day, for like a week. And then he would wake up and he'd lost a lot of weight. Now that had to be dangerous. If he did do that, that had to be dangerous for his body. It had to be. Now, Tracy, is this true that he would do that? He would put himself to sleep sometimes for a week and then he would be on like this juice only diet. So then he would wake up much slimmer, ready for these tours. Tracy, do you know? Right, so we've got. Did anyone see Charlie Hodges' interview where he had that Elvis had bone cancer? Yes, and it's in the. I'm pretty sure it's in the book Destined to Die Young. But yes, I've seen that a few times. That Elvis had bone cancer. Yeah, and I've seen the Charlie Hodge interview saying that. He's got a black shirt on, hasn't he? Right, so Nicolette, read the book in the 80s twice. Watch the 1988 miniseries, which is free on YouTube, guys, which I like. It's not very good quality, but I like it. And Dell Midkiff and Susan Walters, who had a very strong resemblance to Priscilla. She did, actually. She was a real beauty. I watched it last week. Why the need to make a Priscilla movie? Guys, you know my feelings on that Priscilla movie. It should never have happened. Come on. Lisa Marie specifically told Priscilla, her mother, that she did not want that film made. And she wrote to Sofia Coppola, begging her not to make it. And Priscilla Presley, after Lisa Marie died, still went around the world promoting that film. It's disgusting. You do not treat your daughter like that. Your daughter died, and then months later, you're going around the world promoting that film. Come on. Please. That doesn't make me a hater. It does not make me a hater because I think it was wrong that the mother, Priscilla, went around the world promoting this film that made Elvis look bad, that harmed his legacy and his image, and the mother went around the world promoting it. Come on. That's probably one of the worst things you've ever done, Priscilla. One of the worst things you've ever done. I would say it's nearly as bad as when you were unfaithful to Steve Peck just after you had a baby. You don't promote a film that you know your daughter was begging for it not to be made, that also made your ex-husband look trash. It made him look like some kind of pedophile that was abusive and drugged up. That's what that film did. Shame on you. Right. Yes.
I have some seaweed.
Yeah, go on then. Let's have a look. Right. So the guy said the medication was not bad. Right. Okay. So we've got.
Seaweed. Yes, seaweed.
Let's have a look.
Seaweed.
Oh, you won't like those. No, you won't like those. They're yuck. Open the bottom. Get an apple.
No.
You won't like that. You won't like that. I'll tell you what, later I'll cut it up for you, but I don't think you'll like it.
What is that seaweed?
It's not seaweed, no.
What is it?
You just won't like it. They're very sour. They're very bitter. You won't like it. Let's have a look.
What
So,
can I see?
yeah, in a minute. Let me just I'm going to finish things up in a minute. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of these messages.
Can you put it?
Thanks, Annie. Yeah, in a minute. So Sheila married James Caan, and then we've got Sheila married James Caan and had a son with him. She passed away from cancer. I know, it's so sad, Tracy. It's so sad. Linda admitted on the Larry King show, it's on YouTube, that Elvis had a woman with him but was not having sex. No, I know that Elvis was unfaithful to Linda. I know it. Linda knew it as well. Doesn't make it okay, but Linda tried to accept it for a while, but then I actually feel sorry for Linda that she had to go through that. Yes. You what? Okay, mate. Thank. Oh, I don't like that one. Have you got another one? Let's have a look. Let's see if this one works. This one's okay now. Oh, no, go and get me another one. This one's no good. Put that in the bin. Put that in the bin. Go and get me another one. So, isn't there? I'll find you something else in a minute. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and go backwards on these comments and try and catch up with them quickly because I'm going to go off and make some tea. Yeah, I agree, Colleen. I did feel sorry for Linda. Definitely. She was so lovely. I think she was good for Elvis. It's a shame that they didn't stick it out. Hi, Joe Man. So the only good thing about Priscilla's movie was, yes, the aesthetic. So they did a great job of the Graceland in Australia, didn't they? And the 1950s in Germany. I agree. It was very impressive, that side of it. But the story was bland and boring. And I've watched it 3 times. I didn't like it. All 3 times I thought, this is terrible. And Jacob Elordi, no offense to him, because he seems like a nice guy, was an absolute joke as Elvis. But the Priscilla girl was pretty good. I'm going to go backwards on these comments, see if I can catch up with them. Let's have a look. So Judith, hi Judith. You see, how are you? Oh, no, isn't Judith one of my members? Judith, thank you. If it's you, thank you so much. Let me just double check. Let's have a yeah. Yes, Judith, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. It means everything to me. Thank you so much. And guys, if any of you want to join, it's only 99 cents a month. It's nothing. And it means everything to me. Right, Judith, I was visiting the cult of Scientology in the late 80s and went to Munich in Germany. It was a weird experience. I learned for the first time about lie detectors and so much more. Really frightening. I've got very strong feelings about Scientology. I don't like it. I think it's cruel. And I am disgusted that Priscilla put Lisa into Scientology. It sickens me. And Stacey as well, another member. Thank you, Stacey, for being a member. It means everything to me. I really appreciate it. So then we've got... So it's destined to die young. Gladys died of a liver issue, not from alcohol. Elvis had the disease too, which makes you blow up and slur speech. Felina, thank you. Yes, it's all there in Destined to Die Young. Elvis, the medical problems that Elvis had were very extreme. And you're right, it all comes from the mum and the fact that the mum's parents were first cousins. And I'm looking forward to getting the book Destined to Die Young so we can go through all this. And people try and make out that Gladys was an alcoholic. She was not. Gladys was not an alcoholic. She would have a drink, but she was not an alcoholic. And anyone that knew Gladys in the earlier years, she did not drink. She was teetotal. So I think the truth about Gladys has been twisted. Yeah, I agree. Nadia, I agree. He wasn't right. When they did the satellite concert, Elvis was not right. Tracy, I agree. Elvis had very, very serious colon issues. They call it a twisted colon, and the pain must have been unbearable. So when he was taking all these pills, guys, he needed them. He needed pain relief. And Colin, yes, I agree. Towards the end, the last few years, I would say probably the last 3 years. Do you want me to tell Giovanni? My son's called Giovanni. He's 15, and he would start crying. If England get kicked out of this UEFA thingy, he will cry. He literally will cry, Nadia. But good luck to Switzerland. I agree. Tracy said he had the biggest heart and couldn't make the relationships work. I personally think if Elvis had not been a singer and not become famous, he was going to have a lovely family, have loads of kids, and be totally faithful and be a really hardworking man that was God-fearing, that went to church regularly. I really think that Elvis's whole life would have been completely different if he had not been famous. But it was not going to happen, guys. Otherwise, we wouldn't know who he is, would we? Most of the Memphis Mafia, so Blue Bunny, Jill, most of the Memphis Mafia don't like Ginger either. Yeah, I've seen a few interviews that they just didn't think she was right for him. I definitely know Billy didn't like her. Ginger's husband died on the same day as Elvis. I didn't know that. Colleen, that's an interesting fact. Trivia fact for you. Margaret, Elvis just couldn't be without a woman by his side. And shame that he didn't get to love the love of his life. It is a shame, but I will say this, that Elvis loved company. He didn't have to have sex with all these women. Many of these women Elvis did not have sex with. He just wanted to be with them. He loved being with them and reading his books with them and pouring out his heart to them and being very deep and spiritual and trying to talk in a meaningful way about religion, yeah, and the meaning of life and purpose of life. And Elvis really tried to understand, why me? Why me? Why was I chosen? Why did God give me these gifts? That's what Elvis spoke about to the women, that, because I think Elvis would fall in love easy. But yes, Elvis would also get bored, wouldn't he? So Wicked Felina doesn't think, I don't believe Ginger's story either. She's making herself a bigger deal. Elvis' life, I agree. But, you know, we don't know, do we? This is only our opinions. But I think me and Felina agree on Ginger Alden. I don't think it was real. Yeah, and Tracy says Elvis proposed to all of his girlfriends. He did. Going way back. Don't forget, he pretended to be married in the early 50s. What was her name? Dixie? Right, I think... okay, so I'm going to wind it up now, guys, because we're coming up to 2 hours. I'll just read the last couple. Colleen, I think he'd become very lonely in the end. All right, all right, Naja, I won't say it to Giovanni. Yeah, it's true, Felina. He had a serious case of glaucoma, which caused him a lot of pain. A lot of pain. He needed his meds. He did. Trust me, if I was in pain, I'd be shoving those painkillers down my mouth. And if the side effect of painkillers means I feel a bit stoned, lucky me. If you need it, you need it. And they said he had he had an enlarged heart, didn't he? When they did the autopsy. Yeah, Naja, Scientology. It's a big no-no.
No, it's a big no-no.
It's a big no-no. Right, it's charity and bringing light to the world. He did so much charity. We would need a year to talk about all the good things that Elvis did for people. A year. Even me, when I found out just how much good Elvis did for everyone and for charity and for complete strangers, I was blown away. Blown away. And how many people know it? Because Elvis kept it a secret. We all know that he would buy people cars. I think it's probably the most common thing said. Even sometimes houses. But the amount of good he did and the amount of charities he helped, especially at Christmas time, the amount of good he did for Memphis and Tupelo, unbelievable. The only good, Diane, hi Diane. The only good thing about the film was when it ended. I didn't even wait for the ending. It was so crap. So listen to Linda's words. She said, this is Felina. She had other women, but I know he wasn't having sex. She says it softly, but you need to listen to every word of the interview. Yeah. And do you know what? Some of them he wasn't, but some of them he probably was. You know, we weren't there. Yeah. I feel sorry for Linda. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. Don't forget, most of us on this channel are in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Linda Thompson looks amazing. Have you seen how good she looks? And how old is she? Isn't she in her late 70s? Stunning. A real beauty. Yes, I'm going to really read that book carefully, Tracy. That Destined to Up, Diane. 74. Thanks, Diane. She's a sexy lady. Trust me, you can be very sexy in your 70s, girls. Very sexy. So I think, this is Nadia. I think that Billy Stanley, who said Elvis talked to him about the love of his life and that Billy wouldn't know her if it was so long ago and he wouldn't believe who it was. Okay. So we've got Felina. Elvis went to the dentist the night he died to work on a bad tooth and was given hydrocodone, which contains Tylenol, which caused liver failure, and then he played racquetball that killed him. Yes, we all know that story, Felina, and I do agree that late night visit he did to the dentist, plus if you look at the last 24 hours video, which I have watched a few times, he was in very bad pain and he kept asking for more medication. And you mix that with the stuff that the dentist gave him. Very sad. Very sad. He overdosed. It was an accidental overdose, but definitely the pills probably ended him. 100%. Yeah, she's, you can see she's had some work done, but I think eating well and exercising is probably the main thing that has helped her look so great. Guys, stay off the sugar and the bread and the pasta. You'll be surprised how much difference it makes. Anyway, I'm going to go now because we've been on for 2 hours. I think we've had a brilliant time. Brilliant. I love the fact that this discussion we've had, the title was United in Defending Elvis. Yes, that's what we're doing, guys. So I'm going to go now. So, Tracy, it was the Valsalva maneuver that triggered the heart attack. And then we have Linda Franks. That's a new name. Hi, Linda. Welcome to our family. He needed holistic medications, which would have kept mobile homes on the movie. I knew Elvis movie. And then, Linda, you're new. Say hello. Where are you from? Welcome to our family. Defenders of a Legend. That's pretty good. Colleen, I like that. Defenders of a Legend. That's good. That's good, Colleen. So he needed holistic medication, which would have kept mobile homes on the movie I Knew Elvis's movie. So I'm a little bit confused. Are you saying that he was having holistic medication whilst making the movies? Is that what you're saying? I'm a bit unsure about that one. Anyway, before I go, guys, thanks for all joining in with me. I've had a great night. Thank you. I'm going to go off. I'm going to cook for Tina. We're going to watch an Elvis film tonight together.
No.
Yes.
Willie.
Oh, don't you dare start being rude, you little monkey. Right, we're going to go, guys. So, he's just been... So, we're going to go, guys. You take care. We've had a brilliant time. I'm going to go and cook for him. Otherwise, he'll drive me mad. Is it true Elvis stopped bathing? Bye, Louis. Bye, everyone. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. And if you want to join and become a member, I would love that. If you want to buy me a coffee, click the buy me a coffee button. I really appreciate all of you. You are my family. I love you coming into my kitchen and chatting with me. You all mean the world to me. I'm not just saying that. You are so important to me, you guys. It means everything. And we are the Elvis Defenders. That's what we are, guys. And there's more to come. Take care. I'm going to give you all a wave. Thanks a lot, guys. You can all carry on chatting with each other, and I'll end it and I'll read your chats. It's good that you're all getting to know each other. Thank you.